what's up? It's Michael. Yo, welcome to Comics on Canes. First of all, thank you so much for all the support. It really means a lot. Now, if you're watching, I just need 2 more subscribers. 2 more subscribers to get 1,500. Please, please, please. If you're watching the pod, make sure you go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, spread the word about Comics on Canes. We're going to keep it going even through the offseason. A lot of news coming up. Also, I want to mention, thank you for all the super chats. You guys have been dropping some super chats. That's what helps supports the channel. We really, really appreciate it. And this one is live. We are live on this one. So if you got any questions, any comments, make sure you drop them in the comments tab and we will get to it. Now, joining me today, a graduate of the University of Miami. You can see him on ABC News, Mr. Positivity. Danny New, what's up, bro? How are you?
Hi, Michael. I'm repping my Ken Dorsey jersey that I found at a thrift store in St. Pete right now.
Did you really?
Yeah, so I don't know if your wife has the same experience with you, but she knows that, like, my wife knows that if I see a thrift store, I have to go look for Kane stuff.
I never thought about that.
This is a deep cut, but I have a Sam Wardenberg basketball jersey that I found in Colorado at a thrift store on my honeymoon.
Whoa.
And I'm not saying it was the best part of my honeymoon, but it was a highlight.
No, but I never thought about going thrift shopping for Kane stuff. And now I'm like, oh, that totally makes sense.
Especially in Florida. Yeah, this was at Wendy's Closet. Shout out to them in St. Pete. They have a lot of Kane stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. Like, Tampa is really Florida State country. It's not really Miami country. But they had some stuff and nobody else was buying it.
How much was the jersey?
This was like 30, I think.
At a thrift store. That's not bad. And that's like a real jersey, right?
You know what's crazy, though? Let me ask you about this. This is off topic. But, like, I can't believe how long jerseys were in, like, the early 2000s, late 90s. This was 2001. Like, these sleeves. This is a short sleeve shirt, and it goes to my wrist. Why did they do that back in the day?
Well, the shoulder pads. It holds up.
He didn't wear this, right? Like, why did it have to be this long for me?
Well, look at what the football players wear now. They don't even wear knee pads. Like OJ Frederick is wearing booty shorts when he plays cornerback. He's literally in booty shorts.
He just made some freshman All-American something.
Freshman All-American list, and also Poisoner, who is a cornerback we got out of the transfer portal, made freshman All-American. So we got 2 freshman All-Americans. They're rebuilding that secondary. First of all, we haven't talked since the season. What's your final thoughts of this season? And then we'll jump into the Hetherman news. And of course, I want to get your take on Carson Beck. So as far as the season, what'd you think?
This season kind of reminded me of a TV show where you thought it was going to have a bigger scope, and then it ended and it was just like a perfectly fine show. And that's cool too. They just got my hopes up for a little bit in the middle. But overall, I think even after the USF game, I was like, okay, maybe the Florida game was just kind of like, we had a lot of juice week 1. And then, like, with Virginia Tech game went crazy. Obviously, the Cal game was probably the craziest game I ever watched.
Yeah.
After a while, I was like, okay, this kind of feels like, I don't want to say lucky, but maybe we used up all of our luck. Just in 2017.
You can say lucky. It was
sometimes a little bit. It was
100% lucky, but Cam Ward hit a lot of warts, let's be honest, on our team. And, you know, before we get to Hetherman, you know, Coach Cristobal did this press conference 2 days ago, and literally, without saying it, he said our defense could not adjust. It's like, after a while, you can, of course, blame the talent. Now, I'm not saying his exact words, I'm paraphrasing, but this is what he was trying to get through. You know what you have. It wasn't the greatest defensive backfield, but we had to make it easier, simplify, and we never did that. So that's why we got a new DC.
It felt like we kept playing teams that had less talent than us on paper and had a better defense.
It almost weird. Yeah, it almost seemed like if you have better talent, just line up head to head and go. Stop trying to do all this trickery. Just beat them. Just beat them. And that's what's so frustrating. But look, 5-7, 7-5, 10-3. Yes, we were upset. We didn't make it to the playoffs. I think we would have done well in the playoffs for some reason. Our defense would have not, but our offense can score on anybody. I still believe that. And for all the people caught up in Carson Beck is not Cam Ward. Cam Ward is a generational quarterback. Nobody's Cam Ward. But also look at the teams that made the finals. Their quarterbacks aren't great at all.
I know. That's what hurts is watching them. You're like, wow, Cam would have been the best player on any field he stepped on in any of these college football playoff games.
And the thing is that we always try to look at the quarterback position and blow it up. Dude, these quarterbacks are throwing for 200 yards a game, and they're just cruising. It's all about that defensive line and offensive line. It's all about the trenches now. That's what it's about.
Have you had this thought, Michael, during the playoffs and seeing how awesome Jaden Daniels was on Monday and like how he did not win 10 games his last season with LSU, like at least we did with Cam, where it's like, okay, it could have been worse, I guess. At least we like almost made the playoffs with Cam compared to Jaden Daniels last season with LSU's defense.
But it also, here's the thing, it comes down to the coaches too. Like, look at players that go to the NFL and shine. Like Tyreek Stevens, you know, he's shining. He's shining in the NFL. Did a horrible. Well, not horrible for the Canes, but he was okay for the Canes.
I feel so bad for him.
Cam Kitchens is doing great in the NFL. Did good for us. He was All-American and all that stuff. But let's be honest, there was a lot of bust in the Miami secondary, even when he was here with James Williams. So I think a lot of it, too, comes down to coaches. Thank you all you guys for checking in. Hey, we really appreciate it. Leave your comments. We are live. If you don't know who that man is right there, he's on ABC News, graduate from Miami. His name is Danny New, Mr. Positivity. Drop your questions in. We will answer. Your thoughts on Carson Beck?
I'm just I know I'm called Mr. Positivity, and I don't try to be this corny, but in this specific case, I'm truly just after like a 2-week lull of doom, I'm just happy to have something that I can hope in. Like,
now, hold on. When you say doom, why'd you have doom?
Because, okay, I think we all, like, Cam, obviously, like you said, generational. And Emory showed some great flashes in his freshman year when he beat Clemson, and he might have just was about to beat Florida State. We don't know. But obviously, in Emory, he's always been really good at reading a defense, but the arm strength didn't seem like it was there yet in the second half. Maybe it'll get there because I believe in him, but it didn't. He certainly didn't look like Cam Ward. And so there's a little bit where I was like, oh, is Emory ready yet? I still don't know. Oh, we can just have this guy, Carson Beck, who was actually like a Heisman favorite before the season.
Yeah.
Because we were all reading the same rumblings on Twitter. We all read the same thing that I was like, hey, isn't he dating Hannah Cavender? Couldn't he come to Miami? Do people do that? Could he do that? And then he was going to declare to the draft. But then you were like, oh, but wait, last year Cam declared for the draft and then didn't go. Could we do that again?
Well, that's what they're doing now is, what's his name? Ura's just declared for the draft. I think you declare to see what your draft stock is. Mm-hmm. And then you decide off of that, because just because you declare doesn't mean you have to go pro. They give you some time to decide. I think they give you a deadline. You have to sign with an agent by.
Yes.
And you should declare. Like, any player should declare, see their draft stock, and then go back to college. But see what money comes in.
Cam, with him specifically last year, if you remember, he posted like the most obvious video ever. It looked like he was a hostage in his video. He was in like a nondescript location. He was like, I'm going to the draft. And then it just ended. And you're like, that didn't seem very genuine.
Look at this. They said Emory Williams. I know you're missing positivity, so you don't have to reply to this. Emory Williams starting is doom. You know, a lot of people, look, we can thank Cam Ward, no matter what the arrangement with Mario Cristobal was. I don't believe Cam quit. I believe they knew he was a first-round pick, and that's what Mario talked about. He said the whole narrative was BS. I wish Mario would have said that after the game, and then all this crap would have not happened and made Cam look bad. But mistake, learn from it, move on. I think they made an agreement he would play just half the game. And I don't think it was because of Emory. Would Mario want Cam to play the whole game? Yes. I don't think Emory was even a factor in all this, but they were like, all right, we get to see what Emory can do. But just think, if Cam would have played that whole game, we would have been reading what everybody else is reading, that Emory's crushing it. Mm-hmm. And he would have been our starter, and we all would have been on board with that. So honestly, it worked out great that Cam played half the game, because we got to see what Emory was at that moment. And I don't define his whole career by 30 minutes, but when you know it's your time, it's like Eminem and 8 Mile. When it's your time, you got to shine, you know, and he didn't. And that's what was sad. And that's what made a lot of the Miami fan base lose hope. I don't think, look, I know he's not going to start with Carson Beck, but I don't think his career is over by any means either. I think he's a solid quarterback. I just wish he would have showed a lot more. What's your take?
Yeah, I'm a big Emory guy. from the moment he threw a touchdown to Ray in the spring game 2 years ago. I don't know how you are about the spring game, but I take it too seriously. And he threw like a 50-yard touchdown to Ray, and I was like, "This is our future. It's Emory and Ray. Here we go." And I was like, "This is it. Lock it in.
Lock it in."
Yeah, and then 2 years ago he showed some promise. He's good at reading defenses. He's good at making quick decisions. We just needed the arm talent to get there, and or his arm strength. And in this specific 30-minute example
was not good.
It was not there yet, and I still believe in him, and I always will. But I do think Mario has learned about the transfer portal a little bit more, right? Like our recruiting class this year, unless he just didn't get all the recruits he wanted, was not top 10. It was top 15. So I wondered when I saw that if maybe he allocated the money to the transfer portal a little more.
I got to talk about my super chat. Thank you, LOL305, for the $5. I appreciate it. Let's not forget Cam spotted Emory 35 points. I think it was 31 points. Spotted him 31 points. He fumbled the bat. No, that is true. He spotted him 31 points, but he only really spotted him 3 points, right? Because they were only winning by 3 points, I think, going into half.
Yeah, I think it was 31-28, if I remember right.
So he spotted him 3 points. I mean, he put 31 on the board, but he only spotted him 3 points. LOL, I appreciate the love and support, though. I appreciate it. Look, do I still believe in Emory? Not as a starter right now for next year. I'm glad we got Carson back. And I love all the comments. Keep them coming. If you're wondering who that man is, graduate from the University. What year did you graduate?
I don't want to tell you.
Tell me. I know you're young.
2017.
2017. Oh my God, you're a baby. He works for ABC News. Mr. Positivity. I mean, this is what I love, is putting on Miami people that are doing great things. And I watch you on TV all the time. So appreciate you being on the pod. All right. LOL 305. He spotted Emory. So I can tell LOL 305, you are not an Emory fan right now. And I get it. He did not do well at all. Let's get to some other comments. Feel free to ask us anyone. The Miami new DC is a Viking warlord. Dude, look, let me tell you something, Jay, about the Miami DC. I don't know if he can DC. We'll go over all his stats in a second, but this dude looks like he can DC. And I think that's half the battle. I don't know if he can, but he has the look. He has that look, or he was at the Capitol on January 6th look. Either one, he fits totally perfectly. That's what that man fits. Go ahead with your comment.
The fact that he came from Minnesota, the state of Paul Bunyan, and he looks like an evil lumberjack.
He does look like an evil lumberjack.
It's wild. Like, he looks like Will Ferrell when he comes back as a lumberjack in Step Brothers. He's like, I've traveled 3,000 miles. Yeah. But I don't think he blinked once in that press conference. No. He's so intense, and you love that about him.
I love it, man. He's so intense, man. I'm so excited to have him. If you don't know, I mean, I know all you Kane fans that watch this, you watch all the podcasts, you know the stats. The dude had a top 10 defense. The dude's has come up from the bottom, literally started from the bottom. Now he's here. I told you before, I didn't want somebody from a FCS school to get a shot. I wanted somebody to be able to coach in the Big Four and actually produce. This dude, I love his story. Started from the bottom, Minnesota. He crushed it last year. And there's something about the mentality of Miami having our type of offense with the Big Ten type of defense. I really like that feel. What about you, Danny?
Yeah, I mean, Guidry, right? He had come from Marshall, and they had that big win over Notre Dame that year. And you were like, okay, so we'll try it this way. We'll get somebody who came from a smaller school that had success. Maybe we're getting on the way up. That could be fun. Mm-hmm. But the year before, our DC, whose name I can't remember, who Alabama stole from us. What was his name?
His name.
He had been at Auburn.
No, Steele. Kevin Steele.
Kevin Steele. Yep. Right? And Alabama stole him. He was a professional, right? We just wanted like a pro. He'd been around for a while, and our D was good.
But let's be honest. He didn't do well, but he also didn't have the talent. That's when Mario first. Have you ever? I want everyone that dogs Miami, or you're even a fan and you forget how the team looked 3 years ago. Look at the trenches from what Mario inherited and look at it now. I'm surprised they won any games, to be honest with you. Like Kevin Steele, when he came, like he didn't have any players. He had a couple here and there, but man, it was wow. Look at
Yeah,
the offensive line, look at the defensive line, and then let's talk.
he had Cam Kinchen's best year.
Yeah.
So that's nice. And then he had Leonard Taylor before he left. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, let's get somebody who's been at big programs instead. Like Guidry was likable. It didn't work out. He came from a smaller school. Let's go back to somebody who just was really good in the Big Ten instead. That was more fun. So let's get somebody like that who last year beat USC, held Miller Moss to 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and like 200 yards, right? Who beat a ranked Illinois team, like someone with ranked wins. That's cool.
Yeah, that's great, man. And that's what we need. You know what I mean? So my thing is with this Big Ten coach, Corey Hetherman, I like in his press conference, first, he looks intense. Second thing is I'm going to line up. I'm going to play aggressive. And every coach says that. But here's the thing. And I think the biggest takeaway from the whole press conference from Mario to Hetherman is I want to make it simple where players react and just play, not overthink it. And every play, it was so frustrating as a Miami fan watching our defense line up. And if there was motion, if they motioned one person, the whole defense looked confused. They started pointing. I was like, they didn't know what was just a man motioning across the formation. So what I love that Mario did, and he said this in the press conference, and for all you people dogging Mario, he's stepping up. This man is because he didn't throw him under the bus, Dawson. I mean, not Dawson, but he didn't throw Guidry under the bus, but he said, look, it was my bad we didn't have the defensive backs. We should have had more depth. But you know what you got. And we didn't change. We didn't react. We didn't simplify. And that's why I got another DC. And I love that. I love that. Tommy Cruz. What's up, Tommy Cruz? He rocking the Miami shirt, wearing the gold chain. I see you. I seen fear in Emery's eyes in person at the Pop-Tart Bowl. I know Mario see it. Really? He saw the fear. He saw the fear. It didn't look good, man. LOL. Emery is making up for what the defense can't do the way Cam does. Emery isn't making. Oh, that's true. He can't. But I believe we're going to have a way better defensive backfield and defense next year. And you say, yes, we will, because how can it be worse? Let's be honest. How can the defense be worse this upcoming year? So I have positivity on that. Now, the concern I have, and I want to know, the second string quarterback is very important. And I saw a comment that said that too. I forgot who said that. But because Beck gets hurt a lot. Beck has been hurt a lot.
Hurt right now.
He's hurt right now. He can't throw till hopefully the summer. So that second string,
yeah.
Let me tell you, y'all may want Emery to leave. And I think Luke Nickel is the future too. But I guarantee you, Miami is doing everything they can to keep Emery in the door in Miami. They're doing everything they can because just think about it. You got Carson Beck, $4 million man. And for the people whining about how much money he's getting, shut up. Shut up. Let me tell you why. You got, what's his name? The quarterbacks in the NFL, Dak Prescott, that can't even win a playoff game, getting millions of dollars. Average quarterbacks are getting a lot of money in the NFL. And that's eventually what you're going to see. Well, you're going to see that in college.
You know what's funny is my wife asked this question because she was like, where does Miami get all this NIL money from? Obviously, none of us know the answer to that question. We all have ideas.
Oh, we do. We do.
In the post-Life Wallet era, we all have some ideas.
Yeah.
But we don't really know. So we get mad at these numbers because we're like, I think that's a lot. I don't want it to take up too many of our resources, but we don't really know.
But you know what I hate is the people that are contributing no money. Like they act like it's their money. Like they're the ones contributing all this money. If you shouldn't complain about how much money you're paying for a player, if you're not the one cutting the checks. They cut the checks how they want. And I understand. We're like, they're $4 million. Yes, $4 million because he was the best quarterback at the time. So what's up? It's okay.
Here's the thing. I just finished up. This is where Canes fans are going to divide, and that's okay. People, if you want to yell at me, that's totally cool. I just finished paying off my college debt last year. I'm not giving University of Miami any more of my money for a while. I'm really sorry. I want the NIL program to be huge. It's not coming from me anymore. I'm sorry. I gave them a lot of money. To quote John Mulaney, I gave you $200,000. What, you spent it already? That's how I feel.
There you go. There you go. Hey, I totally understand that. Right there is Danny New, Miami graduate, 2017. Went to young, but you can watch him on ABC News. I love to shine a light on Canes that are doing great things out there.
And you
Danny
came on our
New
show.
We'll definitely have to come on your show. All right, let me go through some of your comments. Leave your comments. Thank you for the super chats. Like, I'll highlight it real quick. My man LOL 305 dropped $5. I appreciate that. Let's see. Emory can manage to not turn over the ball as a backup if need be. Okay. I mean, they got to keep somebody that has a little experience in the building.
But I believe in Emory. Okay, if we could make, now that we have Carson Beck, and Emory's not the starter, we can make the argument. Like, okay, like he showed a lot of promise at moments in his freshman year. He had to be incredibly rusty in the Pop-Tart Bowl. Yes, we lost that game. He hadn't really played in like 2 to 3 months. The guy, I thought his wrist fell off a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we can cut him some slack. We bought him some more time. If he stays, we bought him another year.
I will say this, is that the problem with Emory coming into that game was Cam Ward made it look so easy.
Mm-hmm.
And he made it look so tough. In our business, have you ever seen a person read a teleprompter for the first time and it's horrible?
I was one of those people once.
Yeah. And now you can read a teleprompter, and when you see people like that, you're like, oh, they're struggling really bad and it's easy for me. That's what Cam Ward was. He was just coasting, literally coasting. It was almost like he wasn't even playing. He was playing a video game where Emory couldn't even get the cartridge into the game. You know, he kept missing the slot. He couldn't even get in the game.
He was trying to blow on it. It wasn't working.
He tried to blow on it, put it in. It wouldn't work. Nothing he did work.
I feel bad for him. Obviously, Michael, you are the greatest stand-up comedian in the world.
No, I don't know about that, but I'll take it.
But let's say when you were 19.
I was horrible.
Right. And I was doing stand-up in Miami when I was 19. I was like in the Grove to go to mics and stuff. And just like imagine Cam Ward, right? So let's imagine like Richard Pryor did stand-up. And then you had to follow him. So Emory had to go follow Cam Ward, right? Like he didn't open for Cam. He followed Cam.
Yeah.
So he came in on Cam Ward's
let me tell you, that's happened to me. The first time that happened to me, I did not do well. And then after experience, I've gone after Bill Burr, Chris Rock, who else? Bill Burr, Jerry Seinfeld in New York. I went after him 3 times. But you learn how to do that. You learn, because when you're young, and I compare it to comedy a lot. When you're young, you're trying to find your voice. When you're a young quarterback, you try to find your rhythm. Who are you? What's your strength? Because you're figuring it out. But once you know your voice in comedy, you can go after anybody. The key is going after a big comedian. You can't pretend like they weren't on stage. That's the biggest mistake. Is some people just go up and start their set. It's like, no, you got to, Jerry Seinfeld, you got to acknowledge in the room what we all just saw. And once you do that, you hit them with a quick joke, and then they're yours. Because now they're like,
Emory should have got on the field, done the Cam Ward celly real quick.
He should.
Say a little prayer.
The celly, knock it out.
But that's the other thing, is that like Cam is like 24. Emory's a true sophomore. Like he really, most of these quarterbacks that are great, like Jaden Daniels and Cam Ward, who are like first pick potential, second pick potential, they've been in college football for 6 years. So it's not really fair to Emory yet.
Here's what I love about college football. It's going to get older. Mm-hmm. It's going to be more mature. You remember college basketball back in the day? All the players stayed a long time, so it was great basketball. It wasn't just a player coming in for a year, 2 years, and going pro. Well, it's before your time. You don't remember those times.
No, but this was like Perry Ellis was at Kansas for like 5 years. Like we had guys like that. Yeah.
So you're going to see this in football, where college football is actually going to be way better, because players like a Carson Beck, like normally he would go pro and probably get 3rd, 4th round, maybe make a team. Now you can get $4 million to stay in the college. I mean, this is what's going to be great for Miami. I feel it's going to be great for college football, but which is going to be harder for younger players, especially quarterback, because you're always going to have a 4th or 5th year quarterback going to be on a team. Because I think they broke down the quarterbacks in the top 12 teams. I think they all had like 3 and up years from every college playoff team. I may be wrong in that, but I know the final 8. I think all the quarterbacks had 3 or 4 years under their belts, you know? So I like that about football. Now, Hayden Lowe, yes, you are right. Jamanuel V, that dude is a freak, and he played great at that All-American Bowl. I'm so excited. 17 years old, 6'5", 250, and he dominated at the All-American Bowl, and he's going to play on Miami, and I'm very excited about that. But I want to get all you people watching right now what I love, and I got in an argument with one of the Comics on Canes fans, and if it's you, this was like at the beginning of the year, because I was telling y'all, money really determines this NIL, the players you bring in, what spots you have to put them in. Somebody fought with me saying, no, it's the coaches that decide. No, whatever you sign that NIL deal to that player, you got to put them in there. And the reason why I said that, Akeem Messidor never should have been playing defensive line, defensive tackle the year, but that was because they signed Barron and some other cats to play defensive end, so they had to move him inside. Mario even said, the first thing Mario said in the press conference, Akeem Messidor is a defensive end. And I told y'all before the season was ended, Akeem Messidor would have left and went to another school or would have went pro if they didn't for sure tell him he was going to play defensive end. This man wasted a year of his college career because of NIL for other players. Now, for this person, it was only one person arguing with me saying, no, it doesn't matter. The coaches make those decisions. No, NIL makes those decisions. It took a lot of bad play from that player before he got benched, and then they put Akeem Messidor back at defensive end. So don't think NIL, when they sign these deals, there's some promises in those deals. Don't think, oh, they signed a player, they can do what they want with that. No, it does not work like that. It's in the contracts. All right, go ahead, Danny. You got anything to say?
Oh, I love Messidor. I'm really happy he's coming back. I probably shouldn't admit this, but I think some Canes fans will relate to this. I ran into him before the Pinstripe Bowl last year in New York. It was him, Ruben Bain, and a couple other people on the defensive line in Times Square. And I was my wife, and I recognized Messidor because he's got beautiful braids. He has cornrows. We did 2 years ago. So I was like, Messidor, you're amazing. It was Ruben Bain's like freshman year. I was like, Ruben Bain, you're the GOAT, man. Oh my gosh. And then I like turned to my wife and I was like, should I get a picture with them? She's like, no, Danny, they're like 20. Please keep walking.
Yeah. It's weird look, I've taken pictures with it, but I'm be honest with you, it's weird for a grown man to be like, will you take a picture with me? And he a kid. But I get it.
Messidor's so good. I'm so happy he's coming back because, like you said, he was playing out of position. They wrote defensive end.
I'm actually surprised. This is how you know the culture is right at Miami. Most players would have bounced if they're not playing their position. Akeem Messidor not only staying another year, is staying with the team because he believes in the team. Because this dude with Georgia, Penn State, any team would pick up Messidor. Don't think they would. If he went to the transfer portal, boom, like that, he would be picked up. He would be one of the top players. Even with a wasted year, he would have been a top player. So
I hope you're right. Like, there's really, in this new system, there's really no way of knowing unless it's just a couple of things. But like, is it money or is it pride in the school? We just don't know. Like, the running backs from Penn State, they're like, we're running it back. But like, we don't know if they got like a bunch more money. Maybe they do want to run it back and win a championship next year. I'm sure they do. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now whenever someone comes back or is going to Miami, you're like, do we have a lot of money or do they love the U?
There's really no way of knowing. Well, I think it's a business decision where it's kind of like, look, I'm going to get drafted here and I can make more money one more year in college and hopefully, go up in the draft like Cam Ward, or you can be like Damian Martinez, who I think made a terrible mistake going pro. And I love Damian Martinez, but this is the best year of backs in a draft. They're like 10 backs deep in the draft, even though I think Damian Martinez is a better suited back for the NFL. The problem is but also at the same time, there's nothing he could have done more to improve his draft stock. He could have hoped that the running backs next year wouldn't have been as good, but then he would have took a whole year beating in college football too, which is hard on a body. And I don't care what you say. If I was Messidor, any running back, when I was growing up, it was one back and he would run the ball all the time. If I was a running back, highly recruited, I go, I hope you have 2 or 3 backs that can run. Because you don't want to take that load because running backs' average career in the NFL is 2.5 years. They're out. They get beat up in college so much. So you want like two other great backs. So you want to share the carries. You don't want all the carries anymore. It's not an ego thing anymore. It's a longevity thing. And we've seen proof that if you're a running back, it doesn't work. It doesn't work you being the one back in college and then going to pro. It's hard to make it. It's hard. These kids today, look, I played college football. They didn't have 250 pounders running 4.4s when I played college. They didn't have 260 pound linemen that could do splits. It's a different animal right now. It's just different. It's just different. Hold on. Blaze 352. Crazy how Emory fumbled the bag starting QB at the U. Man, let me tell you, if Cam would have played that whole game and won that game, we would have just assumed Emory was the guy. I'm glad it happened the way it happened. All right. LOL 305. What's up? All right. Players are no longer fans. I am a Canes fan, but I can't expect these young men to do what's best for the pro. No, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Not even. It's a business now. I don't look. There is no loyalty from coaches or players now, and there never. Let's be honest. There never really was no loyalty in coaches. They just coach somewhere till they got a better offer. Now players are doing that, so it's all business. That's why at times, even though they're young men, even though I think they're kids at times, they're getting paid a massive amount of money, and I don't lose empathy for them. But I also know it's a business now. I look at college football completely. It's a business now. So if a coach cuts you, because coaches are cutting people now, where before, if you didn't play, they would let you stay on your scholarship, let you finish all four. It's not like that anymore. They're cut. Hey, you're taking our budget. Boom, cut next. It's just how it is, man. Like I felt bad for really the first year really happened, and everybody will remember this player couldn't gain weight. But Cyrus Moss, man, from Bishop Gorman. Like I felt bad for that dude, man. He wanted to go to the U from Las Vegas all the way to the dude just couldn't gain weight. And just think when you get to college, your dream college, you play, and that's your genetics, bro. And you can't gain weight. And I don't think he's been gone like 2 years. I don't think he signed ever again. What a college playing football.
Yeah, when did he leave?
That's bad to me.
Was that this year? Because I just saw
Cyrus Moss was like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, something like that.
Because I saw on, maybe you're right. I saw on Twitter today, like I think your guy who I found through this show, Chalupa Batman, was tweeting about him. He had Cyrus Moss had like posted a video that he had like bulked up, and he's like, Cyrus Moss is bulked up now, and I was like, okay, here we go. Because I remember calling him Jason Taylor when we first got him. I was like, this is future Jason Taylor.
But that was the hype around him, man. Yeah. And to see, because he just seemed like a good dude, and there's nothing he could have done to. It's genetics, and he may be able to gain weight later in life. But man, it's so sad when that happens to kids. But also at the same time, like before, let's go back 10 years ago, they would have let that dude have 4 years to gain weight. He would have been on the team. They wouldn't have cut him, But now it's like, yo, you can't gain the weight right now. We need you now. We don't need you 4 years from now. We need you now. We're not going to put you in the program. You can't be in the program. So they kicked him out, or they, I don't want to say that's such a.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah. No, we know. We know.
I never had this thought before until you said it just now.
What's that?
That they were like, you can't gain weight. You should go. I didn't think of it like that. I just assumed he wanted to play more.
Nah, I mean, yes, but to play, you needed to gain weight. It's the same thing.
Right. And he did not. Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
I think this is a good thought experiment for the NIL era. If we take, okay, I'm going to break it down to 4 categories, and I want you to tell me the percentage that this mattered to Carson Beck in the overall pie chart of him coming to Miami. I'm going to give 4 things. 1, money, however $1 million he got. 2, being close to his girlfriend, Hannah Cavender.
Yep.
3, the way Cam Ward improved his draft stock, so improving his draft stock. Yep. And 4, wanting to play for the University of Miami and join our history. Those 4 things, a total of 100%. How much would you give each in percentages to get to 100?
I would say Cam Ward is probably 80% of it.
Really?
Maybe even 90% of it. Because what people don't realize is Hannah's graduating. If she goes pro, she's not going to even be in the Miami. So, I mean, that's one take right there. I think what Cam Ward did, and you see an offense that threw the ball around, because look, it's a very egotistical college football. College football is very egotistical, right? Yes, Does Carson Beck want to win games? Of course he does. Does he care if the defense isn't as good as offense? No. He just cares about his draft stock. That's how these kids think. Of course he wants to win games. Of course he wants a great team, but he also wants a number one offense in the country. Remember, Miami had the number one offense in the country.
That's
and
nuts.
yes, they lost a lot of receivers, but they got some talent. This is the thing. Get one more portal receiver.
Mm-hmm.
You got some young talent that's amazing from South Florida that's going to kill it. I think JoJo, I think Night Carr, I think Ray. I think you got to let these young cats shine because they special. And this is Mario's group he brought in. So I believe in the young guns, man. Let them cats play. Bring in a couple veterans, but man, let these young dudes shine because all that's going to do is help you get other receivers from South Florida. It's kind of like Bain. When Bain had that freshman year, so many defensive linemen from Florida wanted to come. You got to let these young dudes shine, but add the right veteran pieces around. So I would say that's 85%.
Okay.
What Cam Ward did. Miami legacy, nothing. He wasn't even alive. He's like you. He wasn't even alive to see the Miami legacy. That Hannah, 5%. But
and then
you know what? I'm gonna switch it up. Here we go. What Cam Ward did, 50%. Money, 45%. Hannah, 5%.
And then Miami history. Legacy of Miami.
Zero. He wasn't even alive for Miami's history. So that's how do you break it down? And for the people watching, I would love to know how you break it down. Break it down in the comments. I want to read yours. I want to put yours up there. How would you break it down? Mine is 50% NIL, 45% what Cam Ward did, 5% Hannah, 0% legacy. What do you say?
Well, he wasn't posting like mirror selfie videos with Mario that night.
Which would have been very weird though, right?
Yeah, Mario hanging out with him in his apartment off campus would have been weird, right? How many people have seen Mario laugh? That's a good question. How many people have seen Mario laugh?
I've seen him do one of these like I've seen he let out some air in a kind of laugh, like
he was just breathing. He
breathing.
Went on Levitard his first year with Miami, and they tried everything they could, and he laughed a little bit. But he's a serious guy. And he's got a lot of pressure on him, so I understand. But I would say Cam Ward NFL stock. I would say 50%. I would give his girlfriend. I'm gonna give him more because they seem really happy together. So I'm gonna go 30% money, and then money 20% because he was gonna get that money anywhere. So
you're ridiculous. You're ridiculous, right? You're ridiculous.
He was posting a lot of videos with her that night.
So you're saying if Hannah was at USF, he would have went to USF?
No, because she doesn't go to USF.
But if that's what I'm saying. If
she went to Texas, Texas Tech, yeah.
Look, I can't. It's a job. I can't put your comment up there because I want to respect my man Danny New works for ABC News, and I don't want to put him in that circumstance to even have that title under him.
I'm here as a fan.
He's here as a fan, journalist. Not for journalists, but it's a job. I think you're absolutely wrong on that. I think it has nothing to do. I think a very low percentage about Hannah. Look at you guys. Is that all y'all going to comment now?
Can you paraphrase? I think I got the gist, but can you paraphrase?
It's all about the poo nanny. That's what they're saying. All right.
He's pretty close to my age. I'm 29. I think he's 23.
24. 20. Yeah.
He's 24. I do things based on what my wife wants me to do all the time. So yeah, I would respect it.
Dude, y'all are way overestimating that. Wait, because here's the thing. If you're 24, this is what I told people before. A 24-year-old Carson Beck, University of Miami Hurricanes quarterback, coming from Athens, Georgia. He has never seen women he has seen in Miami in his lifetime. Let me tell you, Hannah, and no disrespect, but let me tell you something. Hannah is the type of girl you can see anywhere. The women he's about to see, he have never seen the flavor of Miami. And all you people back in the day that went to Mansion with me, that went to Opium nightclub with me, that went to bed with me. Not actually bed, but the nightclub bed. I want to get that right. It's a different level in Miami. And Carson Beck, he may have, look, I hope they get married. I hope they have kids and all that. But let me tell you something. It's different. It's different. All right. Let's go to Tommy right here. $4.90. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, Tommy. All right. 50% NIL, 25% Cam Ward. Wait. Oh, 25. Okay. See, he didn't even put Hannah in here. I that's what I agree with most. 50% NIL, 25% Cam Ward. Well, 50%. Wait.
I'm assuming he means 25% is money, but he didn't put it in there.
Wait, no, but he's saying NIL is 25%. So he thinks 50% is Hannah? Right. No.
Maybe he meant NFL. Or no, that would be. He doesn't mean Miami tradition. No one here. No one's arguing that it's about the Miami tradition at all.
Wait, Tommy, is 50% Miami tradition or Hannah? Because I'm confused. You left the part out. GA with relationship with distractions that wedge between him and his. See, what is it? I need to know, Tommy. Or is he saying 50%? Yeah, I don't know. Do you understand that, Danny?
That was a report out there. I don't know.
Oh, he's saying 50%. Okay, this is what he said. He just cleared it up. 50% NIL, 50% 25% Cam Ward, 25% Hannah. That's what he said. Okay, Tommy. I think y'all giving her way too much credit, though. Especially for a college kid, man. Can college people be that in love? That's what I'm saying. Can they be that in love? College. You don't even know it's going to work out. Did you meet your wife in college?
No, I was not mature enough yet.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know, man. I question that. Maybe I got married a lot older. I got married at like 39 or 40. So when I lived in Miami, all night long. Trust me, I've been to club space many a time. Okay, anyway.
But a lot of our best quarterbacks now are guys that get married young. Trevor Lawrence, Patrick Mahomes has 3 kids already, and he's my age. Like, they're a different breed than you, Michael.
No, but that don't mean they happy, man. That don't mean they happy. That don't mean that. Look, I don't think anybody, and no disrespect, Danny. No, I don't think anybody should be married till they're 30. If I was president, I would make a law. Nobody can get married till you're 30. Because you don't, dude, I'm telling you changed so much. And I'm sure you're happy and your wife's happy and everything. But man, it's just different, bro. Okay. Cyrus Moss has to buck up. He has offers from UCLA and 2 other big name schools. Man, that is awesome. I'm happy to hear that, man. Thank you, Jamanuel, for that.
Well, UCLA, they gave us Jalen Phillips, so we owe them a Jalen Phillips back. So they can, maybe Cyrus Moss can be their Jalen Phillips.
I hope so. Let me tell you, if there's one player I am rooting for, it's Cyrus Moss, man. I just felt so bad that there's nothing he could do to gain weight, man.
Were you a good weight gainer, Michael?
Yeah.
You were good at that in college?
Well, I got to college at 180, ran a 4.4, and hurt my hamstring the first 40 time. And they put me into rehab, and I was like, it was a bad tear. So I was in rehab for like 4 or 5 months. But then at that same time, creatine came out.
Oh boy!
We were a test school for creatine. So it was us, like Arkansas. It was like some 2 other schools. So literally, we had to sign documents that said they could put it in our food and everything. So we were taking that like 6 times a day. I went from 180 to like 230 in like 5 months because I couldn't run or anything. So all I did was lift. And they moved me to linebacker because I still ran like a 4.49, a 4.5. I wasn't as fast, but I was still fast and then that was the time when they actually told me, first coach ever, they even said this. They go, do you want to play tight end? And I was like, no, you won't remember this, Danny, because you're way too young. But they asked me to play tight end. And at the time, tight ends were just for blocking. I was like, how are you going to disrespect me and just want me to block? They go, no, we're going to start throwing the tight ends. It's going to be a thing. And I go,
you're like, that'll never happen.
Yeah, I was like, that'll never happen. So the guy, I was faster than, quicker than, had better hands than. I don't want to say his name because I don't want to disrespect him. But he went pro for tight end, won 3 Super Bowls with the Patriots. So it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty
Wait, that
cool.
was your teammate?
That was my teammate that I would have been starting over at the University of Arkansas if I went tight end.
Now I'm going to work backwards here.
Oh, you want to know when I went to college?
No, I'm trying to figure out who the Patriots tight end was their first.
No. But he didn't. No. But see, the thing, he didn't start. He was like second or third string. Yeah.
When you would rather be doing stand up than being a bench player in the Patriots.
Yeah,
right?
because I've seen these football players with CTE. Man, it's not nice. It's not nice. In my career would have been over 15 years ago. So like my wife keeps texting me. That's when when I put my phone on do not disturb, the only text that comes through is my wife's. Right?
Ask him, do you have a special vibrate for your wife? Because I do on my phone.
Special vibrate?
So that way,
what do you mean?
You can set it so she has a special vibration. So when you get a text on your phone, you know it's from her.
No, I don't let my phone vibrate at all. It's either a bing. Well, I have my phone off all the time. So it's either a bing from her or I just see your message when I see it. I hate to be on call for some reason. It's weird. It's a phone, but I hate to be alerted by a phone. I like to go to it when I want, if that makes sense.
Are you in trouble?
Yes, with the law. I'm a gangster.
Oh, no.
No, I'm not in trouble with the law. Okay, let me read some of these comments and then I got to bounce. I got to meet my daughter at a appointment here. Beck is whipped. Oh, my God. All you guys think he is whipped. I don't know. I don't really like him doing all the TikToks. I will tell you that. I'm not into that, but I'm an older generation. Kimbo went to Miami for a minute. Big Ferg. I don't know what that means.
Who's Kimbo?
Kimbo.
Slice? Who?
Joshua, who's Kimbo? Oh, wait. Hunter is the most whipped dude I've seen in a long time. Oh, yeah. Travis Hunter. Oh, wait. Imagine Yo and Kimbo at line. Okay, I got you. Yo played on the same team as Kimbo's. I know, I did not. We weren't. No.
Did you know Kimbo?
No. You know, see, they think I'm younger than I am. I'm old. Black don't crack, Asian no raisin. Come on now, I'm old though.
This is all a compliment at the end of the day.
It's all a compliment, man. Let me tell you, I played. Danny Ford was the coach when I played. My first year, I made the travel team. I played kickoff returns, but in practice, they moved me to linebacker, and that's where I got too many concussions. I only played a year and a half, but I did play a couple of plays against Tennessee when they had Peyton Manning his freshman year. That was fun. Yeah. So like, I'm that old. When I say I'm old, I'm old.
Okay, so you were in college in 97.
I'm 50 years old, Danny. Can you believe that?
You're 50, Michael?
I'm 50, bro.
You look good.
I know I do. I look damn good for 50 years old. I look really good.
You're one of those people that like I just like assume are younger than 50, and then I will read your Wikipedia page and be like, that's a lot of stuff.
He has a lot of history. You know why? Yeah. You know why? I think because I laugh a lot and I eat right, and I just love life, man. I love talking about the Canes and doing I just think I bring so much joy to people, and that keeps me young, man. I love it. Yeah, I'm 50, bro.
Nothing wrong with being 50, but you do make it look good. And you are the most positive Canes fan I know. When I spoke to you before the season,
yeah,
everyone was a little worried about the defense, and you said that we would go 11-0 and then lose at Syracuse, and you were pretty damn close. And you correctly predicted the Florida score, and you got the Florida score. So you bookended the season with correct predictions.
I did. I didn't know the defense was going to be that bad, though.
But at the time, we forget this now because we didn't know Cam was this good. Everyone was saying 9-3, 8-4.
Yeah, but I said 11-1. I always said 11-1. We would lose that last game. All right. So where can people watch you? By the way, if you're just tuning in, I love Danny. I love putting Canes that are doing things on television and different industries. If you don't know, Danny New is a Canes graduate, 2017. You can watch him on ABC News. So make sure you follow. What's your Instagram and what's your Twitter?
I'm at Danny New TV.
At Danny New TV. And let me spell that out for people because people always try. Danny New TV. So that's how you spell it. Everybody look up this man. Give him some support. He's a Canes graduate. He bleeds Canes. So we talk about it every week pretty much about the games and stuff like that. So make sure you follow him. Anything you want. What time can people watch you at?
Really early in the morning on ABC. If you were watching, like, say you got up early to go to the airport or something and turn on
Yeah.
ABC, I'll probably be there.
Okay.
And then you can follow me. I do only positive stories, happy stuff, more positivity, which is hard being a Canes fan and being someone who's professionally happy.
But I love it because there's a couple people on the show that went to the University of Miami, right? Or just
Yes.
you?
Our co-anchor Andrew Dimber went to Miami. Lionel Moise, our correspondent, went to Miami. One of our producers went to Miami. We are very Miami heavy. And Andrew and I went to the Temple game together last year when it was, if you guys remember, it was 50-mile-an-hour winds and it poured.
Yes.
But I went because it was, if they're within like a 3-hour drive radius, I'm going.
That's awesome, man. He's a big Canes fan. Hey guys, thank you for the support. Look, I just need 2 more subscribers to get 1,500. Really appreciate it. Danny's going to be on the show more. And by the way, all you Canes fans, if you know any TV people that I should put on that you like watching or that you know have blown up in any industry, leave them in the comments. I'll look them up and get them on the show because I want to showcase people that went to Miami. I want to showcase the talent out of Miami, not just on the football field, but all over the world. So there you go. Danny New, thank you so much, bro.
Thank you, brother. Go Canes.
Go Canes. Go Canes. Go Canes. We'll see you next time. Later.
See you guys.